famous. Yeah, I gotta keep it trendy on my soul. I'm the most selfish person that I know. Here we go, down the rabbit hole. Got a couple carrots around my neck.
And we are live. Welcome back to Miss Cool Mogul. It's your boy, the one with the scar in space, your boy Scarface. And I want to thank you guys for always tuning into the episodes. Every week, you guys are like excited to hear a new episode and things like that. So I'm excited to, be able to do this for you guys because I know you guys love it. I know you guys, like everybody that comes over from the TikTok, shout out to you guys for all the support and thank you guys for following the podcast as well. So wherever you're listening to it, if you're YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, please leave us a thumbs up, a 5-star, whatever you can. It helps the podcast out. I really do appreciate it. Just comment it, share it. That's all I ask for. But if you want to continue to help, we do sell these pins linked in the bio. We have the Sleeping Goku, the Straight Edge Razor, and then a baseball one, Prolific. Shout out to Prolific. So if you guys definitely want to pick one of these up, I always have them on my hats. As you can see, I got it on my hat right now. Link is definitely in the bio. Definitely check them out. You're going to love them. I love them. Pins are a thing right now. So today's episode, I wanted to actually get into just a little bit of one of the popular things that we've been talking over on TikTok has been how to almost like rekindle a romance. Especially when you've been together for so long, you get comfortable. It's natural. You get comfortable. You get used to each other, and so how to keep it interesting. And so, of course, I do my research, like the great Samaritan that I am, podcast host that I am, TikTok channel that I am. I'm gonna find the best ways and see like what other people have done. You know what I mean? I'm not currently in a relationship right now, but I have seen this work with other people and different people. So, I personally haven't done it, but I've seen people do it because the people are like, well, you're not even in a relationship. How can you give advice? Well, I've seen it. So we're going to get into that right now. All right. So the first one that we have is surprise gestures. Plan unexpected surprises like a romantic dinner or a weekend getaway to add excitement. And girls love surprises. But when you do the surprises, you don't have to go all out. Some people think they have to go all out, meaning they have to say one time you do surprise them with a trip. They think that every time you're supposed to surprise this person with a trip. No, just like little surprises. I always say it too, I'd rather do 100 little things than one or two big things because the one or two big things, they're cool and everything. And you should treat whoever you're with to stuff like that as well. But where you should focus is on the little things, get them a rose. Doesn't have to necessarily, people overthink things, right? You don't have to go and buy the half dozen roses, full dozen of roses, 70 roses. Okay, yeah, do those on special occasions. But just surprising her, go get a rose from the store. It's going to cost you nothing. It's not going to be nothing crazy. Go take her to her work or have something delivered, something small, nothing crazy. Some people think that they have to go all out each time. And yes, it does get expensive when you do it over, or if you think you have to do it over and over, but you don't have to do it over and over. You just have to do it do the smaller stuff. And then, when the time is right, do the bigger stuff. I always say, people are like, well, they should also do the bigger stuff. Yes, of course. Also do the bigger stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everything has to be big. Unless you can afford that. If your finances are set for you to do that thing, by all means, go for it. But I'm just talking to some people, obviously, not everybody is different in their financial journey, right? So that's why I say do focus on little things, unexpected gifts, you see something or go and get her a coffee. Go and get her a massage. Go and get her little things. You know what I mean? Her favorite drink, say it's Prime, right? You go and get her a Prime and you take her to her work right before you're gonna go do something. Going out of your way a little bit to do something for her can go a long way. So, especially little detail gifts like that, sending her a letter, even if you guys live just put it in the mailbox. If she gets the mailbox or the mail, put a letter in there. Put a letter in there. Put a postcard in there, put something in there, and then so when she's going through, she's gonna be like, what the heck? So just like things like that, like a bunch of little different things. Um, and those are going to go a longer way than doing one or two big things and then you thinking that's good for the year. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm saying like spread a bunch of things out over a period of time, and then every now and then, yeah, do the bigger things. So, and especially like if you have kids, you definitely need to find time for your guys' self, because trust me, she gets tired of watching the kids all the time. He gets tired of watching the kids. Like you guys need some alone time, because it's kind of hard to get some alone time when you have kids and they really don't give you alone time. Uh, and even just taking a break, some people are like, well, I don't like to just like leave them somewhere. Sometimes you need to, for your own mental health, for your own relationship, you need to, even if you don't want to leave them with family, pay somebody to babysit them. Like you need that time between just you and your partner. Like it's necessary. In order for relationships to work, it is necessary. Um, that's like include like different, like if you want to take a small trip somewhere, it doesn't have to be crazy expensive. People overthink it in their heads. Like if the girl wants you to do that, then and you can't do that financially, then this is probably the wrong person for you, right? Um, but most girls are going to just a weekend like down like next city over. Amazing. You had a room, you did all this, and she's gonna be, oh my God, like we're gonna get away for a little bit. Like, trust me, it's gonna go a long way. You just need to do it. Don't overthink it. Don't think that you have to go and freaking book a resort somewhere like every time. Like, yeah, of course, treat your girl to that too. Treat your guy to that too. But it doesn't have to be like every time, right? That's what like people I've seen people give gifts that they can't keep up on, meaning like an iPhone and then an iWatch or Apple Watch, and then you know what I mean, like it's stuff like that. And then next thing I knew, this dude was like, "Damn, she's expensive." I was like, "Nah, bro, you are getting your expensive gifts. That's on you." So now when that changes, trust me, it's gonna change for her too a little bit. I'm not saying that she's materialistic, but like when you go from giving her all this stuff all the time to just be like something small, I'm sure she'll appreciate it, but some people will be like, "Well, what happened here?" Like, so that's why don't live outside your means. Don't be doing stuff you can't be keeping up with, uh, because again, people get used to that. So I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, say you're always going on trips. Like, this person's always taking you trips, and then just stops taking you trips. Now you're gonna think that something's wrong, something's going on, And but the guy is like, shit, I don't got no more money to be doing this. So again, live within your means, but do surprises for your person. Like it's gonna go a long way. Just showing up with a rose, trust me, make their day. Showing up with a coffee, make their day. If you can't make it, DoorDash them something. You know what I mean? Like there's always ways to do something. You're just choosing not to. Okay. The second one we have is open and honest communication about desires, feelings, and fantasies can deepen intimacy. And this is why I say, like, especially guys, girls, you can unlock the freak side of them. Like a lot of girls are freaky. Trust me, guys. It's just the guys that feel like sometimes they feel like they're too cool. It's not macho to be freaky. You know what I mean? Like, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's completely fine. You should be able to do these things without an issue. Especially with somebody you've been over like a long period of time. Now it's time to like include new things, try new things. I'm not saying like go crazy, but maybe like there's like include a toy that she really wants to use just to enhance the experience. Or if there's some sort of like, there's like that honey, like where people can eat the honey and then it just, it's supposed to take it to another level, and just trying things like that. Investing into a sex couch, like if you guys ever seen them, like those are great for different positions and it's comfortable. Because let's be honest, some of these positions are fucking uncomfortable and they get tiring. Like you're going a minute. Like the other day, I shared something on Instagram. Like he made the girl do like when they're on the bed and like going at it. Like that shit gets tiring. Your arms get tired. And the girl didn't even last a minute. That's what I'm saying. Like this helps with comfortability. Like you can put the girl in different positions. She can be comfortable. You can be comfortable. No awkward. You know how sometimes when you're like trying to do something but you probably have to like squat down, or you have to like she has to like get on her tippy toes. Like that shit gets tiring too. So, you know, communicate with your partner, see what she's interested in, see what he's interested, and don't be afraid. Like, what's the most that can happen? Like, you find something that you don't like, and you're like, all right, we cool. We didn't like that. We ain't doing that ever again. You know, like there's some people who, like when I post the TikToks, that like to get spit on, that like to get slapped, and things like that. And there's some people who don't like that. You know, so they're, you know, it's always gonna be like, what is this person like, and how can I find out, and how can you find out new things that you didn't know about that now you love. You know what I mean? Like, so there's always different stuff to try out and to experiment with. But that's where communication comes in handy. Don't just be like, was it good? The guy's like, yeah, cool. You know, you could have been like, next time, oh, like that was so amazing. Like next time, maybe you can do this, do that, pull this. You know, just to make it better. Just and if you have somebody who's really vanilla right now, like, and trust me, that happens like in every relationship. Like the spice levels are through the roof, and then they slowly start going down. That's why, like, I've had the TikToks where people were like, we went from doing it like 4 or 5 times a day to now like once a week. You know what I mean? Like that's because you're not introducing new things, keeping it spicy, keeping it interesting. That's why you need to like try new things, especially later on in the relationship. Like when you guys have years in, like try new things, include new things. There's nothing. What's wrong with that? You know, just don't let your person get comfortable, because once you get comfortable, this is why people like. I'm not saying this is the reason why people cheat, but this is one of the reasons why people cheat, is because they crave that intimacy, that passion that you guys once had before. And so, and if you're not giving it to that person, they're going to look for it in somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like that's why guys cheat. That's why girls cheat. Oh, not just because of that. There's many other reasons, but this is, we're talking about this right now. Right. So that's why you need to communicate, keep it spicy, keep it interesting, do it in different places. Like I do the TikToks all the time, follow, go through, look through some of these, learn some new things. I've learned some new things, you know, like it's always learning new things. But the biggest thing is communicate. Like you guys got to communicate in order to rekindle that. Like we're trying to rebuild, like that's why I say like try whatever you can, like this, counseling, therapy, and if that doesn't work, what are you waiting for, right? But this is some ways that you can try to spark that flame, you know, because maybe it's still there. You guys just haven't done what you guys need to do to keep that flame going, you know? All right, so the next one that we do have is engage in new or shared hobbies to create fresh, enjoyable experiences together. And see, I talked about this on a TikTok, why being with two different people, like opposites, is way better than being with similar people. And because here, now you have to learn new things. But when you're with somebody who is like this and you're completely different, of course you'll have like some similarities, but now you're learning and trying new things because you're trying to learn what this person does and vice versa. And so you're always constantly learning new things about each other, trying new things, because say this person likes to do this and you're like, well, I've never done that, or I never knew anyone that liked to do that. So now you're going to try them, and it keeps the relationship interesting longer. But when you guys are similar, like, so what are you going to learn from this person? Because you guys all do the same shit, you know? So you're not learning from each other, and it's just like, yeah, it's cool because you're like, oh, you like that? You like that? Cool. But then that eventually is like, it gets old. Like, things get old, things get repetitive, and then you're like, well, I want to, you know, you crave that. I always do, like wanting to learn something new, wanting to do something new, like wanting to try something new. And if the person that you're with isn't like that, then you're going to have some problems. So this is why I always say, but now, even if you guys aren't together now, this is about rekindling. This ain't about that, right? Find new things to do. You know, find new things. There's a shit ton of stuff to do. Like yesterday, I was hanging out with some friends, right? And the last time I sat down and painted something with watercolors and painting like everything, who knows how long that has been, you know? And it was fun because we put a timer and we're like, all right, we have to finish by this time, like, and we'll put it on IG to see who can win. Let's just say I had a mess up at the end that completely threw mine off. Um, I dipped and I thought I grabbed one color. I grabbed a really dark color, and yeah, my painting went to shit. But you see, like, imagine like two different people like that. Like this person really doesn't paint, and this person paints all the time, and he's like, and then you guys mesh that. But try new things. Go try like painting things. There's like that painting and like wine stuff. There's wineries you can go to. Like if you guys aren't wine people, turn into fucking wine people, or at least go try it. Go try new things. Go new places that you haven't never gone to. This is why I always tell people, like, why do you guys go to the same place over and over and over and over? Um, Instead of your regular Cancun resort, go somewhere else. Go to Europe. Go somewhere different. Experience something new, and the both of you guys are going to experience it, and it's going to be a great time. But this is, picking up new hobbies. That's why, like, people have issues, like, when one person wants to start working out and the other person is, like, gets all upset or insecure or jealous that this person's working out, they'll be like, why are you trying to work out? Instead of being like, you know what? We've been lazy for a while. Let's get into working out, because it's only hard in the beginning. And then once you get into the habit, it gets a lot easier. But just shared, not like I'm gonna go start doing this and this other person doesn't want to do it. It has to be things that you guys both try, both go do. And it's even better, like, when someone's like, I don't want to do that. Okay, that's even better than do it. I never say I don't like anything anymore until I've tried it or I have done it. So many people are like, oh, I don't like that. Have you ever tried it? No. Have you ever done it? No. Then how do you know? Just because you looked at it and said you didn't like it, or somebody told you it sucked or it wasn't fun, you know what I mean? Like, what makes you think that you won't like it? So definitely shared activities is a huge one, like learning new things. And especially, like, try new things. And this goes right into the next one, too. Is like dedicated focus time without distractions, fostering a stronger emotional connection. Like, you guys need some time. That's why I said, like, if you guys have kids, pay somebody to watch them. Take them to family. Don't feel like, oh, like, I hate leaving my... No, because you guys need to take care of you guys, okay? And if the kids get in the way, like, obviously getting that alone time, that quality time with each other, even... like, the kids can be asleep, but then, like, it's not the, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same, like, the kids are still there. You still got to worry about them or something like that. Just something where you guys just focus on each other. It's just you and the other person. Definitely, like, something that you need to implement to rekindle. And if you're listening to this and you're not in a relationship yet, it's something that is crucial to, like, just to make the relationship work over time. So definitely quality time. Like, these all are, like, involve a lot of, like, time with each other. Like, you have to invest. And I was in mistake too before. Like, I felt like when me and my ex were working on the computer, I felt like that was, like, spending time, which it wasn't, because at the time I was like, yeah, we're, like, right here, but we weren't right there. Yes, we were next to each other, but we were focused on the computer, not each other. Or sometimes when she would want to watch a movie, I'd just be like, all right, I'm gonna get on my computer real quick. So technically, we weren't. The movie was on, but we weren't watching the movie, if that makes sense. Instead of me just being like, I'll do this later, I'm just gonna sit here or lay here and watch the movie with this person or with her, then it would have been probably better. But I didn't. So, and that was my fault too. I'm not gonna say like that wasn't me, but she did it too. So, all right. So the next one that we have is express appreciation. Regularly express gratitude and compliment your partner and reinforce feelings of love. You gotta keep flirting with your girl, like, or your guy. You gotta keep flirting. Like, just because you have them already doesn't mean stop flirting with them. Like, people. That's why I say, like, people get comfortable to the point where they just stop doing things that this person loved that you were doing in the beginning. And if you just stop, it's because you got comfortable. So now, you not saying, oh, you look beautiful, babe, or something like that. Now it's somebody else is telling them, right? And that's why, like, they enjoy that, right? Like, they're like, dang, that feels good being called beautiful, right? Because you're not doing it. You're not doing it, and you're not, and it goes both ways. Handsome, oh, dang, you look good, oh, that fit, and stuff like that. You gotta flirt with each other. And that's not just like complimenting them. That's just like doing things to them, like, slapping them on the butt or something like that, and just things like that. So it's a bunch of different things that you can do because, again, I'm sure people have experienced it. Say you're with somebody that really doesn't flirt with you, compliment you, or do anything like that, and then this person is like, "Oh, dang, you look really beautiful," and that felt great. That feels good because this other person hasn't been telling you that. And so sometimes people feel like maybe they're not. You know what I mean? Like they get in their head that they're not, or maybe they think that somebody else is beautiful. Um, so you just gotta make sure it doesn't take that long. Like it's not that hard. Doesn't take very long. It takes a few seconds, to hype. Anytime I'm with somebody and they look fire, trust me, I'm hyping them up. And I'm like, damn, girl, you looking fine. Like going off like that. That literally took like 2-3 seconds. And you can't do that. Why? You know what I mean? Like you can't invest those 2-3 seconds into this person that you're trying to spend the rest of your life with. Like, come on now. Somebody else is gonna do it. Somebody else on social media gonna do it. All right. So be spontaneous. Be spontaneous by introducing unpredictable elements into your routine. And see, remember how I was talking about people get comfortable when they're doing the same shit because there's nothing spontaneous, out of nowhere, just be like, hey, let's go try this. And they'll be like, why? We've never done it before. I've always wanted to try it. Go try it. Introduce new things. Because when you guys both learn something together, that's like a whole experience. Or when you guys both do something together, that's an experience you guys did together, a memory, like, and things like that. So being spontaneous is something that I would feel is extremely crucial if you're already like into a relationship and trying to rekindle it. But if you're looking for somebody, don't be afraid of somebody who's complete opposite of you, because this is going to introduce new things into your life and new things into this person's life, right? It's not going to be, you're going to constantly be learning new things, different things, trying new things. But if you guys are very similar, you guys are going to be doing the same shit, right? But be spontaneous. Like right now, if you're listening to this and you have a partner, look for something to do that you guys don't do normally. If you guys like painting, go paint. Go to a convention. Go to this place to eat that you guys never go. You guys always go over here because it's similar. Try new things. If you go on TikTok and just search your city or wherever, you see all these things to do, all these new places to try. Why don't you go on there and be like, oh, this one looks cool. Let's go try it. What's the worst that can happen? It sucks. Cool. We won't go there again. Bad experience. We'll try somewhere else, People are so afraid to try new things, but it's exciting when you're trying new things. Like, even like when you meet somebody new, right? It's exciting, nerve-wracking, meeting somebody new. So imagine trying something new, doing something new. It's going to be nerve-wracking. Like, say you've never been ziplining, go ziplining. If you've never been skydiving, go skydiving. Like, I'm not saying keep doing it over and over, but it could be something you like. Just include new things. Like, stop being so closed off and not wanting to try new things. I'm always down to try something new. If someone's like, hey, like, let's go do this, and I've never done it, I'd be like, shit, I'm down. I've never done it, but I'm down to go. I'm down to do it. So be spontaneous. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being spontaneous. I actually love it. If a girl's like spontaneous like that, he's like, let's try this. I'd be like, girl, what size of ring? But you get what I'm saying. So, but this is like trying to rekindle. Like you should be trying a lot of these things and see. And if it doesn't work from there, then like I said earlier, it doesn't work. Physical touch, small gestures like holding hands or cuddling can reignite physical closeness. And we've all seen it, like those people that are together that never hold hands anymore. They never touch each other that much, So what makes you think that they're being super intimate, right? I remember there was they were a couple, right? But they didn't look like a couple, if that makes sense. They were like far apart from each other. They weren't like flirting with each other. You know how sometimes when someone's in they're couples, they're touching them at some point, even if it's just like holding them back or like holding their hand a little bit or their leg, rubbing up against them, cleaning their face or something. You can tell they're a couple, you know. But there's some people that I was like, damn, they're a couple? Are they like mad at each other? Are they angry? You know what I mean? Like they don't know why. Like everybody loves physical touch. Like, okay, most people, most people like physical touch, like touching the other person, like being flirty and just holding their hand, um, massaging them a little bit. Like there's always something like, and then if you stop them, that person that, like, say you're comfortable or the guy's comfortable, the girl's gonna crave it from somebody. Like they're gonna be like, "Dang, like they're not gonna say it out loud, but they're gonna be like, when they watch a movie or something, they'll be like, oh man, I wish somebody would grab me like that, touch me like that." And same with the guys too. Like say you're not very touchy with the guy either, they're gonna be like, "Damn, I wish a girl would just grab my neck and fuck me." Getting a little spicy there, but you know what I mean. Like you have to add some sort of touch back too, because you just become more and more distant. And yes, that couple that I did see, they ended up going their separate ways because again, like you could tell like right away that there was no touch there. It didn't feel like they were together. And so imagine how the relationship is behind closed doors. I know some people don't like to show PDA, but some people, I mean, I would say that they at least do some sort of level of PDA, right? They're at least close to the person, right? They're at least you can tell and feel that they're with each other. But there's some people you're just like, y'all are together? Like my parents still hold hands. They still like flirted with each. Like this is what I'm saying. Like I feel like that's what's helped them over time be together for so long. So definitely be touching your person. All right, and then we have relive memories. Revisit the past by reminiscing about happy memories or looking for at old photos. And that, yeah, I can see that helping. I know my parents, they watch like a bunch of videos all the time of like, say we were at a party, the home videos that they would record of us, like when we were kids, like they still have them. My parents still watch them, and it's cool to see. You're like, oh dang, I was fucking small, But imagine if you're like reliving those moments with your partner, your person, So that's why it's good to get pictures taken. It's good to have videos taken of you guys, because then you're gonna be, oh, remember when this or this or this. Instead, like, don't do it on a day you guys fight, because I've taken pictures of people and they've didn't last too much longer after the photos. So there's that too. But definitely relive those memories. That way that you guys can see, I was like, dang, like, remember that? Like, why don't we do that? Why aren't we doing that anymore? Like, and then you start questioning yourself and you'll be like, we need to be doing that again. So definitely go through old photos. No, don't go through old photos. Like, again, everyone's in a different place in their relationship. Some people are doing great. They're doing amazing. Like I posted a TikTok earlier about how your person should be your best friend. And some girls were like, yeah, that's how my man is. I love it. And some people were like, why is this happening to me? So, like I said, everybody's in a different position. So wherever you're at, trying to implement some of these things. Like maybe you guys do have pictures or don't have pictures. Try something else. Like the next one, date night. Regularly schedule date nights to prioritize one-on-one time for deeper connection. And this is something that should be from the jump. Like every week, you guys should be getting together to do something together, whether it be like dinner or whatever the case may be. Have a date night. I know some people that have their date night on Fridays, like good buddy Troy, every Friday, him and his wife, they go and do something without the kids. And some of those days have been like we go to concerts and stuff like that. So there's always something to do, but you have to make sure you have a specific day for that person. If something comes up that day, still make it happen. Don't get comfortable not doing it. That's something that my ex tried to include into our relationship when we weren't doing so hot. But I feel like it was a little too late to add that. You know what I mean? Like the relationship wasn't doing so hot then. So that's why I said, like, depending on what time in your life you're at. But if you're early on in a relationship, make sure you guys have a date night. Make sure even if you guys just meet up just to hang out, and you don't have to spend money. Because again, everybody always thinks that should be a super expensive dinner like this. No, like just hanging out with your person. Even if it's just going for a walk somewhere, hanging out the park somewhere, ice skating, like rollerblade, like something, do something with your partner. Because trust me, it'll go a long way. Like constantly, like especially like when you work out, like Monday through Friday I work out at this time. You can't be like, all right, every Friday night at 7 p.m. that's gonna be our date night, no matter what. And if something happens, we'll just move it over Saturday or do it Thursday, like, or something. There's always a workaround. There's always something you can do. It just people get comfortable. And this is like if you have kids without kids. This is just you and your partner. Take them to a family member. If they're old enough, leave them at home, or pay some. Some people like, again, I said it earlier. They don't want to just drop off the kids at a family. No, that's what your family's for. To help you guys out every now and then. I'm sure they're gonna love to hang out with their grandkids. You know what I mean? Like, so there's nothing wrong with that. And surprise love notes. Leave affectionate notes in unexpected places to keep the romance alive. And that's why I said like the whole postcard thing earlier. Like just doing cool things like that for your partner. Trust me, it's gonna go a long way. It's just people don't want to do these things. They get comfortable with something that's gonna take you literally a few seconds, if not like 5 minutes. Like they don't do it. They just don't do it, and then they wonder why. Like, imagine if you would just every now and then like surprise your person with like a random note. Like, say you knew they were gonna wear a certain jacket, right? And then you put something in the pocket, right? Come on, like I should be teaching a course on some of this shit. Like I've done like scavenger hunts. I went and got like it was like 10 little gifts, and then like how I started it was like I gave her like the first clue, and she was really good at puzzles. So I gave her the first clue, and then from there she went to go, and I didn't make them super difficult, like to the point where like I had to help her. It was just like small little like, hey, like the next clue was here, 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 and here, right? Or like, well, you know how scavenger hunts work. And then she would find it, and then all of a sudden like, in there was like a small little gift, and then another clue, right? And then she would find that, and that literally took very little. I mean, it took some planning, obviously, because it was a scavenger hunt. But you can make it extensive. You can make it short. You can make it nothing crazy, just at the house, at the park, or something like that. It doesn't have to be crazy, and it doesn't have to be crazy, stupid, expensive gifts. Like the whole scavenger hunt thing, she's gonna be amazed by that. It doesn't necessarily like the gifts wouldn't even matter. You could have just had her do the whole scavenger hunt, and she would have been great. Like she would have been fine. At the end, a piece of chocolate, she would have been like, that was a lot of fun. And she would have remembered that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to teach a class one of these days. But the most important thing is keep it interesting. Like, you got to keep your relationships interesting and learning new things. Like, once you let it get comfortable, that's why I say, like, the moment something's off, let them know. The moment, like, I do something wrong, I want the person, whoever I'm with, to let me know. That way I can be like, oh, shit, my bad. Let me fix that. Because once you let them get away with a little bit, they'll try to get away with a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then eventually it's going to be a problem. And when you bring it up finally, they're going to be like, well, you never said nothing when I was doing it back then. Now you got to say something. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care if you sound clingy. I don't say, like, whatever you think no. Instead, you want it to get worse and worse because, trust me, it's not going to get better. They just get worse and worse. It's never like, oh, shit, I'm fucking up. Let me go fix it. It's usually like that's why you have to bring it up because sometimes they don't realize. They're just like, oh, she's getting comfortable too. Cool. So don't let it happen. Keep it interesting. But if you do get to the point where you tried stuff like this, you tried therapy, you tried counseling, or this person is just constantly cheating on you, or you've gotten to the point where you're just like, we need to separate. Like, don't stay together for the kids because that's worse off. They'd rather see you raise them in a happy home instead of a toxic home or angry home. Like, when you get to the point where you've done what you can and nothing's working. Trust me, it's not gonna get to, in a year and a half, everything's gonna flip, everything's gonna be great, smooth sailing. That's not gonna happen. I'll tell you right now, you're gonna waste your time. You're gonna get to that year and a half or whatever you were waiting for, and you're gonna be like, fuck, nothing happened. It's the same shit. It's worse. So make the effort. If you've already put in the effort to try to make it work, and if it's not working, sometimes you got to know when to throw in the towel. And I knew when to throw in the towel, and it was the best decision I ever made. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for always checking out the podcast. If you guys haven't left it a thumbs up, subscribed, whatever the case may be, please, it helps the podcast a lot. And also follow me on my IG, TikTok, everything. You probably came from TikTok, but follow me on IG. Share this with your people, because we're just trying to help everybody here. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.
I was living for myself. I was dead wrong till I got the call. No cell phone. I got tired of walking around with a mask on, smiling, but my heart singing sad songs.